The thing about AI is we're in such an early state of development of how AI is going to impact any industry.
Tom, it's amazing. You've been through so many different, almost like different eras of media, and you mentioned sort of now looking at where media stands, the company you're involved with, and how AI is being involved. Is involved. Talk about where you think things are going to go.
Well, um, the thing about AI is we're in such an early state of development of how AI is going to impact any industry. Where it's all going to go is very much difficult to know. I would say that I'm already seeing the ability for massive disruptive impact that we've never seen before. My company, for instance, wanted to cut some 30 and 60-second ads for what it does as an AI company. It's not per se in the advertising realm of the media sector, but certainly we wanted to create some interesting promotional material. So one of the guys from the company, obviously very skilled in creating AI content and understanding the various large language models and video diffusion models and how to get the best out of them, created a few 60s and a few 30s that I thought were really top notch. I showed them to a friend of mine in the advertising business, and I kind of prefaced it by saying, geez, we're a young company. We probably overspent what we should have in terms of an advertising campaign. We went to a top agency. They gave us the full treatment in terms of evaluating the brand and creating storyboards and hiring a top-notch production company. And here, take a look. Tell me what you think. And he looked at it and said, wow, I don't know. They probably gave you some discount because you're a young company and didn't charge you top tier prices, but I don't know, $1 million to $1.2 million. The real answer is it took about $45 and an hour and 20 minutes. And that is just astonishing, absolutely astonishing. And that's where we are today. So ultimately, are TV shows and full-length movies and video games going to be hugely disrupted in terms of cost, and probably creative capability as well is going to be much more widely dispersed than the hands of studios and major companies that provide that kind of content today. So the disruptive impact is going to be enormous, and we're just beginning to see it.
Where do you think this sort of disruptive type of these types of things? How does this going to affect live sports?
Well, that's a great question because what we've seen so far, as you well know, is that live sports, at least in terms of major professional and college sports, has been a huge beneficiary of the streaming era. Not only because the streaming services have all decided that they need sports programming to drive their distribution, and as they've gotten more dependent on advertising revenue to drive advertising sales. But it's what's basically left in terms of broad audience appeal of the linear cable and broadcast worlds. And so you have bidding interest from both the linear world and the digital world. And those companies that straddle both worlds feel particularly compelled to be aggressive bidders in there. If what I just said applies to how entertainment programming is going to be able to be produced, we're probably going to see an explosion in the amount of entertainment content that exists. I think some of the impact of just how expensive sports rights in terms of the major leagues have gotten is that there's been allocation of less money to entertainment programming. I think given AI's impact on programming development cost, that's likely over time to be reversed, and we're going to see more and more and more quality entertainment programming. We're already seeing, of course, from YouTube and social media sources, all types of creative community and amateur content that is also garnering major or meaningful audience. So as the audience gets increasingly splintered by more and more entertainment programming, I think sports programming becomes even more sought after by distributors because of its ability to drive mass audiences. So there are two things that really drive value in the advertising world. One is scale, and the other is the ability to target your audiences. Targeting is going to increasingly impact all forms of content in the TV and video worlds. But as entertainment programming broadens massively, I think it makes sports programming and its ability to drive scale audience that much more important.